Welcome to VIPs Vino. My name is Chuck Van Fleet. We're here at Vino Grill and Spirits with Andy Nazaroff from Guaranteed Real Estate. Andy, how you doing today?
I'm great. Good morning.
Morning.
Or top of the morning.
Top of the morning to you too. So, I'm hearing all kinds of things in the market. What's going on with Fresno market and housing?
If I could only be a fly on the wall in your restaurant to hear some of the real estate conversations. So everybody's got an opinion about real estate, right? It's either real estate buzz, gossip, or the weather. And they're interesting. The bottom line is, how's my value? What's the market doing? Is my home value going up or not? The answer is everybody's home values seem to still be appreciating despite a little bit of a blip. So if I take you back to summertime, June, July, our market was ticking at like 800 homes a month were going under contract. So 800 in June, 800 in July, 800 in August. And then something happened a little bit extra with interest rates in September, and we went into the 600s under contract in September. Now what happened in the market is, you know, when you're going at 150 miles an hour and it slows down to 70, it feels like you've stopped. It feels like you're walking. The reality is it was normal. It was seasonal. October, ironically, went right back up into the 800s. November and December are most likely going to be a little bit more seasonal, normal slowdown. But, you know, home values year over year were around 8 to 9% appreciation. In some lower ends, it's even higher. And I'll just say the upper end, anything over 600,000-700,000 is soft. It's more inventory. Buyers have choices. You know, it's good to be a buyer, finally, to have that kind of opportunity in your side. But for the most part, values are steady. Values are strong.
Well, good. So it sounds like, to me, what would be a medium household under 600,000, there's good inventory for buyers.
So actually, under 300, which is the first-time buyer market, is crazy. It's competitive. So if you're a buyer, you've really got to compete still in that 300 to 500 price range. That conventional, like you're still a conforming loan in our jargon. It's more balanced. So if you're a buyer, you can find some deals. If you're a seller, you don't necessarily have to reduce your price to get it sold. Over that, you've got to be really realistic about your price.
Well, sounds like it's going to be fun to see what happens the first part of 2019.
The wild card is interest rates. The wild card is what's the Federal Reserve going to do in 2019. So we'll see.
We'll see. So what question do you have for us today?
So, it's that time of year where people are hosting more parties, they're having their friends over, and in my house, we had a wine tasting party a few weeks ago, and it was the first time I've done it, and, invited 4 other couples and said, hey, bring your favorite wine, and everybody had to put their wine in a bag as they walked in the door and they got a number. But I was surprised, myself included. How do you do this? I mean, what do you look for if you're doing a wine tasting party? How do you taste wine professionally, so to speak?
Well, there's several ways, okay? And you're doing it the right way. Blind tasting is some of the funnest. You're not looking at the labels. You're not seeing which is the most expensive and which is the one I'm supposed to be doing. So you want to look at it. You get it in a glass. You want to look at it, check for color. You want to swirl it around, check the aroma. You want to taste it. Okay, there's several different taste areas on your tongue. Sweet is up front, bitter on the side. The middle, there's kind of nothing to it, but you can judge the weight of the wine. And weight of wine is similar to milk. Okay. So a light-bodied wine is more like skim milk. Okay, a heavy-bodied wine is more like a heavy whipping cream on your tongue. So looking at it and tasting it and seeing what you get, and everybody's taste buds are different. So no matter what you get out of a wine, you're not wrong. Cool. Okay, which is fun because people can get all kinds of crazy things. So I'm sure people gave you all kinds of different.
So we did. I found it was like $20 a kit on Amazon that had cheat sheets for smells and what you see, and including if it's a red, these are the potential varietals. If it's a white, these are the potential. And by the way, still some of us got it wrong. But we were chuckling over some of the things that they said you're going to get, whether it was a smell or a taste. So let me just give you a couple, and I'm sure you're like in your head, you know what it was. Bell pepper.
Yep.
What the heck is in wine, bell pepper?
You can get bell pepper in Cabernet. Sometimes you can get a little bit in Merlot, but it can be good to a small degree, but in 2011, Napa had a problem, Paso Robles had a problem. We had so much heat that was actually a fault. It wasn't good for the wine, and there was a lot less good quality wine out there in 2011 because everything tastes just like bell pepper or jalapeno, and the floor fruit was great, but the mountain fruit, Mount Veeder and all the rest of them, theirs were fine because the heat didn't get to it so much. So you can really get that from different years and things like that as well.
So bell pepper, that's one I never would have thought to have in your nose or your palate. So the other one that was really surprising to us, oh, actually this was the one that we were joking when we couldn't figure it out, or in some of the gals, they really did not like this varietal. They picked this one, Cat Box.
Yep.
And for the life of me, I'm going, okay, Cat Box must be something pungent, smelly. Why would you prefer that in a wine? Like, why would you sell it if it came out like that? But is there a wine that has Cat Box?
Cat Box is associated with Sauvignon Blanc a lot, and especially from the Marlborough region of New Zealand. Okay, so you can get, I mean, I have people, Kim Crawford, Sauvignon Blanc is actually, it has Cat Box. It's litter, it's very grassy at times, but it's an ammonia.
Yeah,
okay,
that makes sense.
And
that's actually preferred.
And some people do prefer that. Now, it's not my favorite, okay, but I prefer something with a little bit more fruit, a little bit acidity, but
yeah. That's the last thing you probably think a customer's going to walk in the door and say, can I have something that gets me a little Cat Box in the front?
There's actually people who come in and say, I want something with Barnyard.
Is that right? Actually, what's that?
And Barnyard you can get from a lot of older wines. You can get some from French Bordeaux's, okay, and it literally smells like a barnyard. Okay, and you can get that. When you get that in some older wines, the wines are actually wonderful and amazing. But it's getting people past that nose.
So the last one that I remember was lead, and that one stunned me too. So it was bell pepper, Cat Box, and lead. What's a wine that might have
lead in it? You can get.
Well, I guess it wouldn't have lead in it, but it smells.
Oh, no. Well, if it does, we're in trouble.
Yes, exactly.
So, in lead, you can get Sauvignon Blanc as well. Okay, people will say flinty, okay, and if it's flinty, kind of like pencil shavings, that can be more like a Cabernet Franc.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can get everything, but I mean, I've smelled stuff, different wines, and all of a sudden my mind goes back to when I was a kid, and it's like Apple Jacks. Okay, this smells like Apple Jacks. I know that smell, and I say that, and everybody else is like, oh yeah. So people's minds get impressionable. Okay, so we try not to say what it's going to smell like. We try to ask people what they get, because everybody's just going to be different. It's what you've smelled in the past.
Well, all in all, I'll say that from the way that the party started to the way it ended, it was full of laughs, full of heckling because of some of the things like, you got that, or that's, you know, that friend that writes down that it's a white wine when it was clearly a red wine.
Right.
It was a great time. We gave away a couple of gift cards to your restaurant for the winner that had the most varietals picked accurately, and then we gave one to the winner whose wine was picked as the highest score, or the highest favorites. It was a great time.
Usually they are. They're good times. Everybody enjoys it. If everybody's coming in and they're jovial and not so serious about it, then yeah, everybody has a good time. Yeah. So kind of like today.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming out today.
My pleasure.
Okay. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon.
I'm sure you will. Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks.